Last time I went over the feeling of starting this project, but now I can get into the meat of it. I briefly described that there were two halves of the main gameplay loop. At the time, the only half I had built was the player attack. There are other sub-loops inside and outside of the main loop, but I want to make sure that the main loop is top quality before I move on. During the attack phase, the enemy hitboxes, controlled by the enemy brain script, will scroll back and forth autonomously. A weapon representing the attack chosen by a slot machine, to be built later, will scroll back and forth on a timer. Pressing the button at the right time will cause the player to attack the hit bar. And any hitbox near enough will trigger damage to be taken by the enemy or player associated with it. Damage is then calculated, and we move the phase to defend. Do enough damage and the enemy dies. Kill all the enemies, and you win a fight. The defend phase will consist of the player's hitbox replacing the enemy hitboxes, and the enemies will be the one attacking the bar. If the player's quick enough, they can protect their hitbox. Right now the defend phase is just kinda nothing, so I think I'll work on that next. After that, I have a pretty large list of things to get working on. For now, I'm just going to add a little timer indicator here to show that the player has to act within 3 wall bounces or they lose their turn. Then I got distracted thinking about the user interface, and then I got distracted again thinking about chat bubbles and chat animations. I decided I wanted to make one, but I don't know how to do that. Quick YouTube tutorial search, and I spent a whole night on this that I should have spent working on the last video. Then I woke up the next day and I spent a whole day working on it more. It's quite complex and made of many moving parts, but at its core it's pretty much the same system featured in that tutorial. The only thing is, instancing all of these letters every single time you start the game is not really good for performance. I remembered a Brachy's tutorial about object pooling, so I reworked my entire chat system to use objects pulled from pools instead. Alright, so now we have enemies and a basic turn system, but the enemies need to attack. For that I made a new state machine inside of each of their heads. I'll just reuse this sword attack for now, and bam! During this part, I also made the player move back and forth and be able to get hit. I went ahead and colored their hitbox too. Alright, let's check that off. And let's move hit stop up because I'm really sick of looking at this animation already. Oh, and let's add another thing. Some new attacks. Real quick though, this colored hitbox got me thinking about my earlier ideas about the UI, so I went and did it. Now the UI changes colors based on the player's sprite. I did this by storing an array of colors that I grabbed from the sprite inside of the class prefab. Alright, now it's time to work on giving the enemies a new attack. Boom, done. But I need to redo the player attack now because I sorta destroyed the old one by forgetting to change the name of the file. Well, this'll have to do for now, and besides, by the time I'm editing this video, I've already replaced this animation with something a little bit better. Looking at this video in the editor, I realized I need to make the player's weapon spawn in a random place. And also I need to put in some sound, because my game is sounding pretty bunk, and by bunk I mean completely silent. Alright, that'll do it for this devlog. Just like last time, I'm very eager to get back to work. Thank you guys for watching, be sure to leave a like or a comment, and punch that subscribe button for more content. I'll see you in the next video.